Tomorrow, Fort Bend ISD could vote to support a plan to change state laws so they can rebury nearly 100 sets of human remains. They were uncovered on a construction site last year. Stephanie Whitfield is taking us through what led up to this moment.
It was a historic discovery that halted a multi-million-dollar construction project in Sugar Land. Nearly 100 unmarked graves were found at the site of a new career and technical center for Fort Bend ISD last February. In June, they were exhumed. Investigators believe they were African-American prisoners forced to work plantations after the Emancipation Proclamation. In the fall, the school district and city decided to rebury the remains at a historic cemetery nearby. But activists and historians fought the move in court, arguing that plan didn't properly honor the Sugar Land 95. Last November, a judge appointed a liaison to help the two sides find common ground. It seems they did. In February, Fort Bend County agreed to buy the land where the remains were found and build a memorial park and cemetery. But it turns out counties can't do that under current state law. So last month, Fort Bend asked the state legislature to change the law so it can operate a historic cemetery. And tomorrow, Fort Bend ISD will vote to support that legislation so the Sugar Land 95 can finally rest in peace.
And when we know the results of tomorrow's vote, we will bring it to you. Watch for it on the air and online at khou.com.